Okay, so it's 2 p.m. right now. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to lesson 4 for the first year to fifth coaching program. So, okay, now let me go to my slides first. Okay, I'll skip the house rules. Today we will talk about continued module 4. Okay, continued module 4, language of the outer world. And then after that, then we will touch on module 5. I don't think I can finish module 5 today also. So that means you spill over module 5 to next week. Okay, lesson 5 and 6. Okay, so yeah, that's all we'll be covering today. Partial 4 and partial 5. The two rules I'll skip. Disclaimer, I'll skip also. Okay, so are we ready to get started? Type a yes in the chat box if you are. Hi, Andrew. Good afternoon. Just in time. Okay, good. Thank you. Now, any quick question regarding yesterday's lesson? I think yesterday's lesson, what did we talk about? We talked about the language of the universe, right? Number 1 is the synchronicity, and number 2 is the principle of oneness. Okay, and then we talk about the universal profiling system. All right, so today we'll move on. Today we'll talk about the universal connection system, also a portion of the earlier heaven 8 trigram. So in fact, not many people really talk deep into this topic called the earlier heaven 8 trigram. They just tell you that there's something called earlier heaven 8 trigram, and then how it's been arranged and it's being used to do profiling, and that's about it. So if you really drill deep into it, there are actually a lot of things to talk about earlier heaven 8 trigram. And today, as part of the first year to fifth, I'm going to pull out a segment of this earlier heaven 8 trigram, which I call it the universal connection system. And that is also one way of how we will learn to use this system, so-called the universal connection system, to see how things show up in our outer world. All right, okay, so let's move on. Now, He-Tu, anybody first time seeing this one, first time hearing about this thing called He-Tu? I'm sure not, because you have been learning Chinese metaphysics. I'm sure this is something that you will come across very naturally during the course of your learning. Now, He-Tu, there is this little phrase called 天一生水. This part here, if you can see my highlighter, 天一生水，第六成之，第二生火，天七成之，天三生木，第八成之，第四生金，天九成之，天五生土，第十成之。Loosely translated into English, is called Yang 1 initiates the water, Yin 6 completes. Yin 2 initiates the fire, Yang 7 completes. Yang 3 initiates the wood, Yin 8 completes. Yin 4 initiates the metal, Yang 9 completes. Yang 5 initiates the earth, Yin 10 completes. Now, there are quite a number of lessons to learn from this diagram and these verses. Okay, there are quite a number of lessons that we can use it in this first year to fifth, which I'm going to share with you. Okay, so you see here, this is the He-Tu diagram that, if you flip any of the Chinese metaphysics books that talk about He-Tu, you will always see this diagram. So what can this diagram tell us? Actually, a lot of things that we can use it in our daily living, okay, and especially first year to fifth. Okay, so for example here, Yang 1 initiates water. So that means here, you can see here, 1 and 6 here is a pair. 1 and 6 here is a pair. And then 2 and 7 is a pair, right? 3 and 8 is a pair. 4 and 9 is a pair. And then 5 and 10 in the middle is also a pair. Okay, so you will see that there's an inner ring and outer ring as well. So inner ring and outer ring means what? You can see that every pair, there's always an inner one. Like for example, 1 is an inner, considered inner. 2 is considered inner. 3 considered inner. And 4 is considered inner. Plus the 5 is considered inner. Okay, then 6, 7, 8 9 is considered the outer ring. So when we talk about inner world, outer world, and we relate back to this He2 diagram, you know, it somehow resonates and gel because there is something called inner ring and the outer ring for He2, which can relate back to first gear to fifth, our inner world and our outer world. So it has to, the inner world and outer world, they must work in pairs. Okay, work in pairs. Later on, I'll show you how we can make up our outer world to work in pairs with our inner world. All right, so inner ring is the so-called inner ring, which we call also our inner world. Always initiate. If you look, remember this verse here, Yang 1 initiates, Yang 1 here is Yang 1 initiates, and then Yin 6 will complete. So Yang 1 is the inner world. Inner world means it's the driver. Okay, it's a driver. So inner ring our inner world always is the one that initiates or drive the whole thing. And then we need the outer ring. That means, for example, if it's 1 and 6 pair, 1 initiates, we need 6 to come in to show up to complete the whole thing. I mean, complete the so-called the universal connection. Okay, so it has to work in the yin-yang pairing. So we have to remember this yin-yang pairing because later on we'll talk a lot about yin-yang. And what shows up is considered yin, what shows up is considered yang. Then we know that, when we want to connect, we must make sure there's a yin-yang pairing. That's like how, when you want two pieces of magnet to stick to each other or attract to each other, you must know that the south must tag along with the north and vice versa. As long as you have 1 minus 1 plus, it will come together. So it's one yin and one yang will come together. So this is what it means. So it's a yin-yang pairing here. And then like poles, we know, like for example, north-north will repel, south-south will repel. But as long as we have a yin-yang, which is north-south or south-north, they will attract. And when they attract means they can be connected. Okay? So this is one thing that, we can learn a lot from this He2 diagram. So from here, we know that our inner world, consider the inner ring, is the one that initiates, and it will drive the outer world, which is the outer ring, to bring in things that we want that's arising from our inner world. So inner world, if I may relate, means your nian. In Chinese, it's called nian, or your intention. Okay, your intention. So it goes in this cycle, cyclical manner. So in Chinese, if you look at those eating books, there's one phrase, or in fact 2 phrases, called 相由心生 and 境随心转. Okay, 相由心生 means 相 means your outer dashboard or 相 is the outer dashboard. It means outlook your outer dashboard actually will reflect how your心 grows. Your心, I'm not referring to the organ. I'm referring to your inner world. Okay, your心 here refers to your inner world. How your inner world grow will be reflected on the outside dashboard, which I think we have spoken about that in depth during the module 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and another phrase here is 境随心转. The second line here, 境随心转, means your environment or your surrounding will also follow accordingly to your, here called 心, to your intention. I mean to your inner world. The moment your inner world do a shift, your environment or your surrounding will shift accordingly. Okay, so now we know our inner world is the one that initiate, and the outer world is the one that will follow and complete the thing. Okay, and the moment we can, for this one, now I want to bring in you all into further. If you can recall, okay, now come to here first. This is the earlier heaven 8 trigram. Okay, earlier heaven 8 trigram. It is arranged in this manner. Anyone not sure about the earlier heaven 8 trigram arrangement? If you can, did I mention that? No, it's not in this class. Okay, so 乾卦 is on top. If I look at on the left side, 乾卦is on top, 坤卦 is below. Okay, and then 离卦 坎卦 is on the 4, mean 乾卦 坤卦 离卦 坎卦 is the 4 cardinal direction. But in earlier heaven 8 diagram, remember we don't talk about directions, but just to illustrate to you where are they positioned, I'll use direction to help me explain. Okay, then the other 4 corners are all the, okay, for example here, 对卦, 巽卦, 艮卦, 正卦. So if I display them in a 9 grid kind of arrangement, this is what it shows like. So this become a earlier heaven 8 diagram template. And if this is a template, that means I can use it, you can use it to map over anything. Okay, map over anything that you want to read. Read means read the outer world, read the outer world. So you use that to map. Okay, so that means you must first know what is the 太极 point that you want to map over. So for example, you want to map over yourself, okay, yourself, or map over a person, right? So what you do is, you do this. For simplicity's sake, I remove the 4 corner first. Okay, I remove the 4 corner because if you can understand these four cardinal direction trigram, I think it is you can already understand 80 to 90% of the things already. All right. So if you use this earlier heaven 8 trigram template and map over a person, right? Then you have you are able to read what shows up in this person, this 太极点 outer world. Okay, so on the left, when I say on the left means with reference to the 太极 point, with reference to the 太极 point. So it's very important that when you map over something or someone, like for example this person, you have to determine where is the facing, where is the sitting. So for a person, it's actually very easy to determine. The face, where the eyes is looking at, forward looking, it will be considered the facing. So this side here, the arrow here is considered the facing. And then once you know the facing, then you know 180 degree behind will be the back. So once you know the facing and the back, then straight away the left, right comes out already. Okay, so as long as you know this vertical axis, you know the horizontal axis already. Where is the left, where is the right? So, you know, when you learn feng shui that time, very naturally you come across people talk about left dragon, right tiger, 左青龙, 右白虎. Okay, so some textbook will say that 左青龙 refers to the east sector, you know, 白虎 means the west sector. We already know earlier heaven 8 trigram, we don't relate it to direction. Okay, so if any textbook talk about left dragon being the east sector and then the white tiger referring to the west sector, that will be a little bit of I probably will not agree with that. Okay, but again, it's up to you. Then the left right become obvious already. So once you have the left right become obvious, that means you have the left side will be your left dragon, right side will be the white tiger. So just now when I say you can map over a person or something, that something can be a building. Okay, a building. So something like this, you can map over the same thing over a building. Similarly, like a person, when you map over this 太极 point, okay, this 太极 point, it can be a building, it can be a unit in the building, or it can be any other thing else. So you need to be very clear about the 太极 point that you want to map over. Okay, so if it's a building, then same thing, you have to determine the facing and the sitting. I will talk about that later on. I'll talk about that later on. So you have to map over this building and find the facing. Later on, we'll call it as bright hall. And then behind will be the sitting. And then straight away, the left dragon of the building will show up already. The right tiger of the building will also show up. So you don't go and look for east sector to say that east sector is the left dragon. We don't see it this way. If you do it this way, that means you're reading it totally wrong already. Okay, so once you know the left side of the building, that become the left dragon, right side become the right tiger. So far clear? Okay, so far clear. Okay, let's talk about what does the left, right, front, back means. Okay, we want to know the outer wall. So this is one way of looking at your outer wall without the need of a compass or the need of a 罗盘. No need at all. So if you need a 罗盘, means it's already 气风水 already. But we will still cover a little bit on 气风水 later on, because it goes better when you put them together and then you read it side by side. But for now, I'm going to show you this way of reading the outer world of something or a person without any 罗盘. So first of all, you already know it. You need to know the early heaven 8 trigram template, and basically these 4 cardinal trigram will do. Okay, for now will do. And then you need to know the facing and the sitting. So once you know the facing and the sitting, you will know the left and right already. Okay, so the name to call them actually is like that. In front is called Bright Hall, 明堂. At the back, okay, 明堂, no, wait, in front is called the Bright Hall. So in Chinese, some people call it as the 朱雀. That means, what's the 朱雀called? Phoenix, great phoenix. Okay, so the back is considered as the back support. Okay, back support. And in Chinese text, they call it the 玄武. Chinese 玄武 means black turtle. On the left, we call it as left dragon. I think this one very commonly heard one is 青龙, 左青龙. And then the right side is the 右白虎, mean the right white tiger. And I want to bring to your attention is that, can you see the trigram? Okay, the trigram behind back support is actually 乾卦. In front is called 坤卦. Left side is 坎卦. Right side is 离卦. So if you want to know the characteristics of the left, right, front, back, the characteristics, that means the yin yang characteristics of the left, right, front, back, we look at the trigram. Okay, we look at the trigram. So behind, talk about behind first, the back support is 乾卦. So that means the characteristics of behind is actually yang. Okay, yang. The front is a 坤卦. So the characteristics of the frontage, the bright hall, is yin. On the left side is 坎卦. So 坎卦we know refers to the second sun, so it means it's a yang characteristics, left side. Right side is the 离卦. Okay, 离卦. So 离卦we know is the second daughter, so it's the yin characteristics. Okay, so that is why from the very beginning, when we talk about I Ching portion already, I keep stressing that you have to know your yin yang very well. Okay, so this is one part here. So remember this first. Remember this first. Now, what is the purpose of us having to know this so-called universal connection system? Now, you don't need to Google internet to look for universal connection system because there isn't such terms for it. I coin it. Okay, so that is easier for me to communicate and show you all what it is. Next time when we talk about universal connection system, have you done it, or have you checked your whatever system, then you know what I'm referring to. Okay, so this is the one. So back support, okay, I've mentioned already, is yang, it means father, and bright hall is kun, is mother, is yin, left dragon is kan, second son yang, right tiger is li, second daughter yin. You need to remember this, okay, that these four trigrams, because later on when you want to analyze the outer world, you will have to relate back to these four trigram. For example, if let's say your back support is damaged, later we'll talk about what is called damage, what is beautiful, what is very nice, ideal configuration and things like that. So if let's say, that's a scenario, if let's say your back support is damaged, okay, damage, not very good, very bad quality, it means your 乾卦, okay, it means your 乾卦is damaged. So write down in the chat box, based on yesterday when we run through the universal profiling system, remember that? Okay, when the 乾卦is damaged, what is the likely impact? based on what you know lah. Okay, type in the chat box. Don't worry whether it's right or wrong. Okay, because today we are here to learn. So type in the chat box. What do you think would be the likely impact if the 牵挂 is damaged? Derek say, boss don't like you. Very good, Derek. Very good. Mary say, headache. Very good. Very good. Yes. Yes. Just think back what you have learned yesterday during the universal profiling system. Yes. Okay. So all these things relating to 牵挂. Yes. Basically, you will feel those impact. But since first gear to fifth is geared towards non-home based thing, like for example, yesterday we talked about it. We want to gear towards your career, your business, your retail, office, whatever setting. Then think along that way. Think along that way. What can show up in your business? What can show up in your career if the back support is damaged? What else? Anybody want to contribute? Philip say company not doing well. Okay, company not doing well. Now, when I talk about company not doing well, in fact, any of the four direction, that means the four animals. Okay, let's call it the four celestial animals. Any of the four celestial animals is damaged, the business may not be doing well. Okay, may not be doing well. But yeah, it's correct because behind, if you don't have the 牵挂 behind, of course, first thing first, we will say that probably the company is not doing well. Any other thing? 钱, leadership has issue. Very good, Philip. Leadership has issue. Yes. Mary said power authority issue. Very good. See, there you go. You're starting to see the outer world without law pan already. Okay, without law pan, you can able to see the outer world, read the outer world. Now, if let's say the boss of that company, of this building, the boss, the CEO or the founder, if it's private limited or whatever, has a very lousy inner world. Okay, has a very lousy inner world. Then we know already because even if you go and set up a company on its own, and then he go and find a place to shift in to run his business, highly likely, you'll find a place whereby the back support could be damaged. Okay, therefore he'll run into a lot of problem when running this business. Now, how will that relate to you? If let's say you as an employee is looking for a job and this company with this kind of boss happen to be hiring and has given you an opportunity for an interview and who like to recruit you for the job that you are applying for, and would you want to join this company? That is the question. Okay, so if you think it's okay, you join the company, that means you are going into, be part of this boss inner world or this company's inner world. Then you probably will be influenced already because the outer world can also influence you back. So I can sabo it. Okay, Mary, very good. It's easier to sabo. It's easier to sabo. Okay, probably there's not much think tank personnel inside the company. Okay, so yeah, okay, but again, we don't use this knowledge and these skills to harm people, we don't help people. Okay, but at least back to yourself. How can you make use of this first skill to fifth information and skills and knowledge and techniques to better yourself? Or as you move out of your company or out of a job to the next job, we want to be upward climb. We don't want it to jump from one hot pan to another hot pan. Okay, or because we already know already, if you randomly go and change job, most likely you will land yourself into a very similar kind of setting compared to your previous company. Okay, Ken, any questions so far? Now, nobody talk about mentor. When I say the back support, let's say damage, what will happen? Nobody talk about mentor, 贵人. When I say mentor means 贵人. Okay, Philip said nowadays a lot of remote interviews and remote work. How to tell in that case? Thank you, Philip. Thank you. Okay, now look at whatever you see from the background, even though it is a virtual meeting. Okay, look at the background. All right, so for example, now where's my background? You get what I mean? It's a solid wall. Even though it's a background picture, you please pick a good background picture to use. So for me, I won't use, for example, a waterfall, background picture on me. Okay, although it's a virtual background, I won't use that. I still want to use a solid wall behind me. So whoever is the interviewer who don't know all these things, then they will randomly, based on their inner world, to display their background picture. All right. So whether it's a natural background or a virtual background, you just read it accordingly. Yep, Mary, that's right. So based on symbolism. Okay. So Ken, Philip, is that okay with you? Okay. Right. So now, the entire purpose of showing you all this, is actually there's only one aim. And I think just now, Darren, before the start of this lesson, Darren mentioned about how to 10x, your money, right, using eating. Okay, so this is one way. This is one way I'm going to show you. Okay. Okay, back to Andy question first. How about website background? Okay, website background, to me, same thing. Same thing. If it's a universal website background, watch out also. We want it to be stable. Okay, we want it to be stable. We also want the logo. Remember the logo. I think for those who attended the eating prediction workshop on logo, business logo. Okay, so take note of that logo also. All right, so a lot of things lah. You must put everything together and in alignment lah. Andy, is that okay? All right. So back to my question just now. What is the entire purpose of sharing with you this knowledge? The whole intention, okay, of reading this, there's only one thing. Okay, is know how to trap the qi. All right, how to trap the qi. The qi, I put it this way. If you are able to trap the qi, let me bring out my pen first. If you are able to tap the qi, this is actually money. Okay, as good as trapping money. Now, when we use qi feng shui when we enhance using qi feng shui, actually we are more enhancing health, okay, health, descendant, and sorry about my handwriting, and then yes, money, but it's small money. Now, if we use earlier heaven 8 trigram way of trapping the qi, we are talking about big money. Okay, Darren, you hear that? All right, Darren, I hope you hear that. How to 10x your money. Okay. So remember this. Qi. Okay, so now you know whatever we are doing, when we want to set up the outer world, we want to be able to ultimately be able to trap the qi and then use the qi to your advantage. So what is qi? Qi, one of the characteristics is will disperse with the wind and then settles by the water side. I think this one everybody would know, should know. Qi, 乘风则散, 借水则止 means if there's wind, the wind will carry the qi away. But if there is a water pool or some water, still water, then this qi will just settle down by the water side, water pool or water side, whatever. So that is where the qi will settle. And when the qi settle, we want to be able, if let's say our house is by the water pool there, once the qi settle, we want to be able to tap and bring in the qi. And when we are able to bring in the qi, that is where the opportunity will come in. That's where the good health will come in. That's where good descendants will come in. That's where good money will come in. So everybody, all feng shui master, all everyone, all businessmen, all wealthy men actually are doing this. That means the entire intention is to find where's the qi coming from, trap the qi, and then tap in the qi. Basically, that's about it that we want to do when we say we want to do feng shui. Okay, but right now I'm tying this back to first gear to fifth, because even if you can do this on your outer world without managing your inner world, I think I've said that many times. Without managing your inner world, whatever that shows up in outer world, for example, money, even though you may have a lot of money, okay, if your inner world is not managed properly, your money will be gone very soon. Have you ever seen in real cases like this? Money comes in very fast and then goes out very fast because your inner world cannot take in that money. So even though you do something to the outer world, it comes in, you have to go out very fast. Or someone get very rich very fast and then get poor also very fast because the inner world is not ready. Darren, thank you very much, the maid story. Okay, so remember this, we must work hand in hand with your inner and outer world. So I call it as co-creation, co-creation. So qi disperses with the wind, and once dispersed, nothing prosper. Okay, nothing prosper. Remember this, when there is very strong wind, very big wind, or wind blowing, and the wind only do one job, is to disperse the qi. And when the qi is dispersed, nothing prosper. Now, can you cite me a real life example whereby, or maybe a building or a place, whereby you think, hey, the wind there may disperse away all the qi. And once the qi disperse, that means nothing prosper there. So that place become a dead town. Can anybody think of any real place in Singapore? I'm sure there are a lot. If you look at those shopping mall that looks like a dead town, it's a very good case study, to go down and then study the area there. Kallang Mall. Oh, is it? Kallang Mall. Kallang Mall is not that, I don't know. Kallang Mall is which one? Sorry, I seldom go shopping. There's one Kallang Mall, there's one Leisure Park. Is it a Leisure Park? Or is it different thing? Kallang Mall is Kallang Mall, Leisure Park is Leisure Park. Yes, okay. Okay, so anywhere else? Yeah, it's a good place that you can go down, to study as a case study. Why is it like a dead town? It probably has something to do with qi being dispersed. Being dispersed everywhere else and cannot trap the qi. And therefore, once it cannot trap the qi and qi being dispersed, means that place cannot be prosper. Philip say Alexandra Central Mall. Oh my God, I think I need to go shopping very often nowadays. I don't know where's Alexandra Central Mall. I know there's one Central Mall along Yu Tong Sing. I don't know whether it's a different thing or not. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Oh, Bukit Merah Safra, sorry. Okay, all right. Okay, so Mary say also the ferry wheel, all this near the water. Very good, Mary. Okay, later I'll talk about how do we know whether the qi being cut off or never cut off, or nothing prosper there. When nothing can prosper there means there's no qi there. We call that land a dead land. 死气 死气 okay 死城死气 绝气之地 okay means a place whereby there's no qi at all. Now, a very easy way to look at it. Let's say this is the building. Let's say this is a building. Okay. And let's say this is road. This is road, or let's say highway. Let's say highway. Okay, highway. This is a highway. Okay. All the four are highways. Expressway. That means there's no bus stop, there's no traffic light, there's no one. It's just that they will just go like that. Okay. Now, if you have something like this, that means this building is totally being cut off. Totally being cut off. Okay, totally being cut off. That means all the qi will be dispersed away by the traffic, by the traffic. So nothing will settle around the building or near the building. So when this happens, that means this building here got no qi at all. And therefore, I call it as the dead town. So usually, if you see any dead mall around, is usually in this kind of formation. All right, so you can go and do your research studies on your own. Okay. Andrew said there is this building in front of Clarke Quay Central. Oh yes. I think diagonally opposite, Andrew, if I'm not wrong. I don't know what do we call that. I can't remember it. Riverside or something like that. Rivervale, like one in Rivervale. Okay. All right, I need to go out and walk and see more often now. Upper Serangoon Shopping Center. Okay. Now, Upper Serangoon Shopping Center, I think will get worse because of the, the viaduct, the flyover, will get worse with that. Oh yes, Andrew, thank you. With the jumbo inside, yes, I think that one is the one. With residential building on above it also. Yes, that one is a dead town. But how come jumbo can survive there? If we deem that building as a dead town, then how come jumbo can survive there? Anyone want to spare a thought? Darren says selling dead seafood. Oh my god. Andrew say the heard that they're using tour. Exactly. So if let's say this is that building that Andrew mentioned. This is the building Andrew mentioned. If I'm not wrong, I think jumbo is somewhere here. Let me. Okay, I think jumbo is somewhere here. Okay, yes. So if let's say, oh, thank you, Mary. It's Riverwalk. Yes, thank you. I remember now. Yes, Riverwalk. So if let's say jumbo going to operate from this building, all right, and we know that this is a dead town building. If jumbo still want to choose to operate from here, that means jumbo must expect to not to have or to have very little walk-in customer. Okay, walk-in customer. All right, expect very little walk-in customer because no qi. If there's no qi going there, means there's no customer going there. Later on, I'll explain more about qi. But basically, qi behave like human being. Remember this: if how human being behave, qi will behave. So just read according like that lah. Common sense one how human behave, qi behave. If human don't want to go there, qi don't want to go there. Something like that. So what jumbo management have to do is to forcefully bring loads of customer in. Forcefully, I would say forcefully bring loads of customer in. That is how they can survive. Andrew said they walk around their problem by collaborate or work around their problem by collaborate with travel agency, but now don't know how. Okay, very good. Yeah, exactly. They have to deliberately or forcefully bring in the qi. Okay, so basically it's like that. I'll talk more about this later on. Okay, so back to this one. So our intention of knowing about the outer world and wanting to co-create with the outer world, one intention is to trap the wind, gather the qi. 长风聚气. Remember this? 长风聚气. Okay? So up to this point, any questions so far? Everyone still okay with me? Type a yes if you're okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's drill more deeper into this universal connection system. Now remember, that's how I show you the He2 diagram. Okay, the He2 diagram. Now for the universal connection system to work as it should be, we must be able, and to able to hide the wind. What it means here is the yang must pair with the yin setup, and the yin must pair with the yang setup. Basically, this is what the He2, when you combine with this earlier heaven 8 diagram, this is basically what it means. So now we know the technique already. Now is to apply it, and then get yourself connected to the universal energy. And remember this, the universal energy is free flow, unlimited supply. Okay, free flow, unlimited supply. Is up to you whether you want to connect or don't want to connect. Now, while I say it's up to you whether you want to connect or not to connect, okay, I may have to qualify a bit. Now, you may be telling me that in your company, your seat, you cannot choose your seat. Fine. Okay, fine. But if let's say you happen to have a choice to choose your seat, now you know what to choose, how to choose. I'll explain to you how to choose, but at least now you know you have a choice now. And now we are working on hybrid mode for most people because of COVID-19, whereby 50% of the time at least you'll be working from home. So since at home is something that you can control, then why not get yourself connected 50% of the time while you work? You get my point? like I say, COVID-19 actually presents a lot of opportunity for us to upgrade ourselves. Last time, before COVID, 100% you cannot get connected because you have no choice over your office seat. But right now, because of COVID-19, you have 50% chance of upgrading yourself. So better leverage. Okay, better leverage. That's why I say yesterday already, the quality of a success, the young part is you depend on how you leverage on the challenges. Of course, the challenges comes from working, the inconvenience of working from home, have to set up a workspace at home and things like that, and COVID-19, all the inconveniences. Okay, I take that as I take that as the inconveniences. I take that as a challenge, problem, issue, whatever. But leverage on it. Now that you know this, leverage on it, upgrade yourself. Okay, so remember this. The yang must pair with the yin, and the yin must pair with the yang. So now we know already, right? Based on the trigram, we know the back. When I say the back, not only this 1/3 area, not only this 1/3 area, okay? When I say the back, I mean this part here. Okay, I mean this part here. Okay, and when I say the left, I don't mean only this 1/3. When I say the left, I mean this whole part here. So there will be overlapping. There will be overlapping. Okay, and when I say the front, I mean this whole thing. And when I say the right, I mean this whole thing. Okay, so don't go away thinking that when I say left, I'm only talking about this 1/3, or when I talk about the back, it's only this 1/3, and I talk about right, only this 1/3, and talk about front, only this 1/3. No, I mean the whole stretch. Okay, whole stretch. So based on the trigram, you already know that the back is 乾卦. 乾卦means yang. Yang means whatever that shows up in your outer world behind here, okay, behind here, it has to be a yin setup. It has to be a yin setup. Okay, so same thing for the left side. Same thing for the left side, because left side is 坎卦. 坎卦 means a second sun, which is a yang. Therefore, the left side has to be yin setup also. Then on the flip side, the front and the back and the right, because they are yin trigram, therefore, whatever shows up in the outer world must be yang setup. Okay? Now, if you have this yin-yang matching, yin-yang pairing, then you can consider that as connected. If the back has yin-yang pairing, connected. That means the back connected. If the left has yin-yang pairing, that means the left connected. The front yin-yang pairing, front connected. Right yin-yang pairing, that means right connected. So it's very rare, I would say very rare, very rare in Singapore, to have all stretch. Means, for example, if let's say you are running a business and you're shifting office or renovating the whole office, now you have that choice to really set up this connection system in your workplace. Okay, if let's say you have a choice or next time if you want to shift house, okay, you can also use this connection system to select what house to shift to. That means your house must be connected in this manner, the yin-yang pairing. Okay, Mary said, thank you, Master. You have answered my earlier question. I can see it now. Thank you, Mary. Yes, thank you, Mary. So actually, yin-yang, like I said already many times, if you want to talk about yin-yang alone, I can take one whole day to talk about it, and still can't finish. So this is just one small portion only. All right, this one portion, and it's also very powerful really. Darren said, Master Yo, what you mean in order to 长风聚气, we must pair yin-yang combination in order to activate effectively. Is that correct? That is only half the formula, Darren. Yes, you are half correct. Yes. The minimal configuration is there must be yin-yang pairing. But that is not enough to 聚气. But it's a good half the better one, to 长风聚气. Is that okay, Darren? So it's only 50% done only, if let's say there's a pairing. Okay, let me clear the slides. Okay, what else must I say? Okay, now, this one. So remember yesterday we went through this table about yin and yang table, the chart, and we already explained to you not to differentiate, hey, this is yang, hey, this is yin. You get my point? That's like the universal profiling system lah. Okay, so now we make it go back to empirical data. That means we don't talk about trigram, but we talk about yin yang will do. So what is yin, what is yang characteristics? Then again, remember, yin yang is relative. You need, and it's observer dependent. So you cannot have one thing and then say, tell me that this pen, is it long or short? You can't tell until something else comes along, right? Until something else comes along. For example, compared to my arm here, forearm here. So is this pen considered long or considered short? Now you know, because there is something to compare, and that's called relative. So same thing, when you look at the facing and when you look at the sitting, you cannot say, oh, because there is a small alley in front, okay? If there's a small alley in front, you call that as yang because people can walk. You cannot say that. You must go behind and take a look and say, hey, what's behind there? Okay? If it's a mountain where nobody can go and access one, then of course that alley become yang already because mountain is very yin. But if let's say behind is a river flow where very heavy water flow, then the behind become yang, the small alley in comparison become yin already. So remember this, yin yang is always relative, and you need to compare which one is yin, which one is yang. Therefore, your understanding of yin yang characteristics must be there. Okay, so here's a very simple table, which I think you can use that table pretty often enough. So I list it there. Is that, you know, anything that is brighter, I use brighter and darker because comparison. Anything that's brighter, consider yang. Anything that's darker, consider yin. Anything that has more movement, consider yang. Anything that has lesser movement, consider yin. And best still, stillness would be the best. Stillness is actually yin. Okay? And anything that is lighter, consider yang. Anything that is heavier, consider yin. Okay? So now, having known this, now let me ask you, behind, we know behind the characteristics of the energy behind, okay, is actually yang lah. And we want to pair it with a yin, pink yin setup in the outer world. Now, can you throw me examples of a yin setup in the outer world? Just throw in the chat box, anything. Doesn't matter it's right or wrong, because we are here to learn. The more you can throw into, you know, for discussion, that means the more next time when you look around, maybe even after today's lesson, when you look around your house, you know already behind is more yang or more yin, or is it connected, not connected, you know? Okay, so, okay, let me scroll back. Okay, Mary says, see mountain hill at the back. Yep, mountain hill at the back can be considered yin. Okay, can consider yin. So remember to also compare with the front. If let's say below is a low mountain, in front is a very high mountain, Himalayan mountain, then you know behind that mountain is considered yin already. Okay, no, wrong. It's considered yang already. Okay. Philip said walkway. Walkway is considered yang because you allow movement. We want a yin setup. Remember that. We want a yin setup. Okay, so walkway, if we invite people to walk, that means we are inviting movement to come in. Then again, you must compare front and back. Andrew said between left and back, which area must be emphasized more? I'll talk about that later on, Andrew. If I forget, please remind me. Okay. Mary said, or a block of flats. Very good. So we want something that is heavy, and then sit behind you like mountain, right? As heavy as mountain, sit behind you. Okay, so it's like block of mountain, because nowadays in urban living, we don't have mountains. Unlike Malaysia, perhaps Malaysia sometimes when you know houses, you can still see mountains behind, or maybe in Bukit Timah area, you have Bukit Timah Hill, Bukit Batok Hill, you know, things like that. Okay, all right. So we want something that's heavy, solid, heavy, one yin to 坐镇 Alan said bushes. Bushes depends. You must compare with the front. If in front are all trees, tall trees, then the bushes consider as not as heavy as the tall trees already. So it's become more young already. Okay. So Philip say in office, how can low file cabinet be considered in? Can low file? Yes. Depending. Philip, depending. Let me pull out a white screen. Office setting. So remember, it's always you must determine the 太极 point first. Then you overlap the what do you call that? The template on it. So if let's say your table is like that, and we want to look at this table, this workplace. So this is the 太极 point. And you have a low row of cabinet here, very low. Low, I say low. Means like, for example, you stand up, you can see across other people. Okay, I take it this way, Philip. Low. Now, if let's say in front is a walkway, what do you think? If in front is a walkway, people can just walk like that in front of you. So would this low cabinet become in or become yang? In, very good, very good. Okay, in, in relative to the walkway. Andrew, thank you. I like your answer. In relative to the walkway. Very good, very good. Now, if let's say I change the scenario, in order to save space, your boss flush your table to the wall. Flush the table to the wall. So that means you are looking at the wall. And then at the same time, because you need cabinet, right? So there's no other space to place a cabinet. So place it behind you. Okay, place it behind you. And then therefore, walkway is again behind the cabinet. Now, tell me, would that low cabinet become yin or yang? Okay, very good. Very good. So you'll see the point. It's always relative, relative and comparison. Okay, so I can't really tell you something whether it's yang or yin unless there is a comparison. Okay, Philip, is that okay with you? Okay, good. Let me proceed. Okay, now if let's say, so same thing. The left, the back, we need the yin setup. The left, because it's also a yang, we need a yin setup. So remember this, behind you and on your left, you need a yin setup. Okay. Mason say L-shaped table opening is yang for moving in and out. Close is in. Very good, Mason. You got it. You got it. Okay, let me pull out a white screen, white slide first. Mason say L-shaped table. So if let's say the L-shaped table is like that. Like that, L-shaped table. Okay. And let's say the wall is here. Naturally, the wall can't be on the left side. Okay, on the right side. Okay. So tell me now, your right side, your right side is supposed to be in quality, and you need a yang setup. Would this be connected? Would this be a good pairing? Would this table layout, L-shaped table layout, considered as a good pairing? Mason say no. Philip say no. Okay, no. Okay, no. Obviously, because it's not, you need a yang pairing, but the wall, solid wall plus this L-shaped table is considered yin pairing. When it's yin pairing, means it will repel. When it's repel, means qi cannot come near to you. Basically, cannot come near from this side. Okay, so basically that's it. All right, so very good. So what would be a good site? What would be a good placement? Will be this one. If you can remember my career resilient workshop, I straight away, or even the rekindle seminar I talk about, straight away I tell you, okay, first of all, you must have a solid backing, left backing, and then move in and out from the right side. So this configuration actually conform to what we discussed just now, right? The yin-yang pairing, okay? The yin-yang pairing. Mason say, but if it's a freestanding L table, only back wall, yes, it does too. Yeah, it helps too. Let me clean up the... Can I say it's like that, Mason? Let's say it's a wall like that, but here is okay lah. Let's say here is something like it's not against the wall. Let's say the wall is here lah. Okay, do you mean this way, Mason? Okay, good. So this is consider your ink setup already. Okay, so your left side quality is what do you call that? Yang, right? And because of this L shape here on the left side, therefore it's a yin yang pairing. So this is as good. Of course, if it's against the wall, would be better. All right. So basically, this is what we want. Huh? Okay. Now, in front, the bright hall. Okay, the bright hall. Let's talk about bright hall. Bright hall now we know is yin quality, yeah, and we want to match with a yang setup. Okay, throw into the chat box. What do you think can be considered a yang setup? What do you think is considered a yang setup? Oh, good. Darren, expressway. Philip say walkway. Good. Mary say walkway, roads, intersection. Very good. Very good. Okay, very good. Huh? Philip say window. Very good. Darren say cross junction. Very good. Okay. I think you all get the idea already. Huh? Now, my question. Look at your office. Look at your company, your office, okay, your building or whatever. I hope you all is able to differentiate where is the facing and where is the sitting of your office. I hope you can. But if let's say it's too difficult, too complex to determine facing and sitting, at least your own work desk or your home work desk, if you're working from home, either your home work desk or your office work desk or both, whatever it is, is it connected right now? Is it connected? Front, back, left, right. Is it connected? If yes, type a yes in the chat box. If no, also type in the chat box. Or half, 50%, 60%, type in the chat box. Mary say yes. Very good, Mary. Darren say half. Half. Okay, half. Okay, anyone else? Philip say half. Half. Okay. Andrew say half. Now, after today, do you know what to do already? I hope you know. I hope you know, because now is a very good chance for you to upgrade yourself. I mean, to power up yourself and don't waste it. Don't waste it. Okay. Mason say both office and home connected. Awesome. Awesome, Mason. Awesome. Okay, that's good. Both office and home connected. Yes, this is what we want. That means synchronization. Okay, synchronization. Very good. Okay, so for those half, yeah, halfway there. Good news, halfway there. But do the other half lah. Do the other half if you can. If you can, make use of this opportunity. Very good. Okay, so basically, back and left support means we prefer to have an ink setup. We prefer there's something stillness. We prefer to be supported. We prefer to have heavy. Heavy means heavy like mountain or heavy like a HDB block. Okay, so this is what we would like to have to show up at the back and on the left. On the left means the left dragon. So on the front side, the bright hall and the right tiger, because it is yin, we prefer to have something yang and something movement and something spatial. Spatial means like, for example, a playground where people can gather, and something that is light or low, light or low. Okay, so then that's considered as more yang already. Okay, so this is what it means to be connected, yin yang pairing. Okay, now is how to analyze and then perhaps if you want make prediction. But it's actually not prediction. We want just to have a glimpse of how the inner world of that person or of that building or of that collective energy, whatever Tai-Chi point that we are actually mapping over. We just want to know how the inner energy is, so that we can make our own choice whether we want to join in, be part of that energy also. All All right. So because when you go into the energy field, means you are actually connected to it, and you'll be influenced somehow. So it's a choice whether you want to be part of it or not. If you don't want, then make a choice. Don't. Okay. So at least now you have these tools. These tools help you make decision easier, and it's an easier path for you to upgrade. Okay. So let's talk about this back support. Okay, let's talk about back support first. Now, back support is about 钱, is governed by this 钱卦. And just now, I think some of you already throw in a lot of pointers. What could it mean by 钱卦? So based on what we learned yesterday, it can mean male, right? 钱卦is male, right? Or it can mean your officer, your boss, or something, or someone senior. 钱卦, old man, okay? Senior, or someone superior, because this is a boss trigram, or your mentor, 贵人, or authority, okay? Authority. So what it means here, if your back support is damaged, it may mean that, for example, the male probably will be on the losing end, okay? On the losing end, and then maybe your officer will not support you, or your senior will not give you support, or give you lesser support compared to others, or superior also not going to support you that much, or no 贵人 at all. Mentor, I take it as 贵人, okay? Or no authority at all, or lesser authority. So if let's say you're going to join a new department, okay, a new department, and that department, let's say, has the head HOD, and then the deputy head, and you go and pay them a visit in their own room, their respective room, okay. So let me bring out screen, So let's say this is HOD, and this is DY, this DY, and you go and visit the room, okay. So let's say this HOD is like that, and DY table is like that, okay. And let's say behind is window, okay. Behind is window here, W. Behind here is a solid wall, okay, solid wall. Now tell me, throw in your comments. One-liner will do. Throw in your comments. Because when you step into a company, you step into a department, you want to know who has more power. Doesn't mean HOD means got more power. Okay. Okay. Mary said DY is more successful. Philip said DY called the shot. Right. Well done. Now, without Luo Pan, you are able to tell all these things already. Okay. So, any more? Yeah. So if let's say, I'm not suggesting you to do this, but at least you should know who is in power, who is not, who is actually suffering, who is not suffering, who is struggling, who is not. You get my point? If you need help, who would you go to? Who would you go to? Now you know how to make your next best move forward. Okay. Yeah, DY probably more influential. And then if you look at the HOD inner world, what can we tell about HOD inner world? What can we tell about the HOD inner world? Feel free to type whatever you think it is. Philip say maybe head maybe a bit damaged. Okay, Mary say muddle and scatterbrain, stress up. Okay, Philip say stress up. Okay, good. HOD, because behind is not connected, therefore, if you seek help, maybe you want more budget, and then HOD go and ask for more budget, so maybe when HOD asks, no. When DY go and ask, yes. Sometimes it happen like this. Sometimes it happen like this because the top management probably will listen more to DY than to the HOD in this way, in this kind of layout. Okay, and at the same time, HOD inner world may be very unstable. may be very unstable because of the 靠山 not there, so his inner world is feeling very unstable. Or perhaps his inner world is already very unstable, but of course he made his way up to HOD. But because of like that, because of his own inner world, he will be given or he will choose a room that has this kind of setup, so that for any teaching practitioner or for those who know first gear to fifth already, when you step into the room, you know his inner world setup. Okay, all right. So this is a very quick tips how you move forward when you talk to your HOD and when you talk to a DY, how should you moderate your conversation, okay? Or it can mean outsider, or it can mean behavior. Okay, so also behind means your inside. Outside frontage means external. Okay, external. So yes, behavior. Okay. So if let's say kun kwa is damaged, right? What is likely the impact? Type in the chat box. Alan's asking, does the table layout tell something? When you say table layout means what? For example, where you place the computer, where you place the laptop, where you place the phone, all these things, is it? Is that what you mean, Alan? Yes. Yes, it does. It does, Alan. It does. It does. The table layout tells a story as well. Remember, in the home frequency tuning, I say every impression tells a story. So impression can come in the form of a table layout. The table layout tells a story as well. Okay. All right. So back to my question just now. If the bright hall is damaged, what do you think is a likely impact? Mary say Kun Kwa damage have to stomach a lot of nonsense. From who? Customer. Thank you, Mary. Customer. So if your Kun Kwa is damaged, that means you will hear a lot of nonsense from the customer. That means practically demanding customers lah. Little bit complain, or you sell something, right? They will ask for a lot of freebies from you lah. Okay. Or subordinate. Thank you, Philip. Subordinate. Thank you. Very good. Subordinate nonsense also have. Okay. Also have. Or HR issue or clients. Very good. See, now you all know how to read even without a luopan. Super easy, right? Super easy, right? So all you need to know is yin yang only, right? And the 8 trigram. That's all. Okay. So very good. Okay, left dragon. Okay, after this, I will come back to Andrew's question, okay, about whether the back support is more important or the left dragon is more important. Okay, now the left dragon is governed by the Kan trigram. So it's a male, all right, so it's a male. And because of Kan, right, it can also mean advisor, it can also mean thinking, analytical, it can mean judgment, it can mean knowledge, it can mean ideals. So if let's say Kan is damaged, all right, it will also affect the male. And in the company, if the left dragon is damaged, who do you think will be badly affected? The male employee or the female employee? Type in the chat box. If the left dragon of a company is affected, who do you think probably will be adversely affected? Male employee, female employee? Okay, very good. Philip say male, Derek say male. All right. So what do I mean by affected? It can mean a lot of things. Maybe given less opportunity to be promoted. Maybe cannot perform well as compared to the female counterpart. Or male tend to be, less vocal than female. But of course, when I say all these things, you still must look at what's on the tiger side, because tiger relates to the female, whereas left male, right female. So you need to compare both sides, look at the yin-yang balance, then you can make such a statement, make such observation. It's not conclusion, but it's just an observation. Because a lot of time when you pull in the qi feng shui in, you see a lot more things. And that is where you need to use back the connect the dots technique to stitch up every bits of observation and then form it into a story. Okay. Philip say a lot of operational issue. Can operation very good, very good. Okay, can actually not equal to operation. Can is actually planning, logistic, all these things. But yes, it affect operation as well. Okay, Mary say lack of clarity and decision making. Very good, very good. You know, if let's say someone who just act on impulse, I mean everything is act on impulse. I mean react instead of respond. Usually the dragon is weaker. Usually because it never go through the brain, but it just act. Okay, so Mary, very good. Lack of clarity and decision making. So for those usually react one, react very 冲动 one. Okay, usually the dragon is weaker one. You go and observe lah. You go and observe lah. I'm sure you have friends like this. You go and observe lah. All right. Okay. Can Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on. So on the right side, which is the right tiger, it is governed by Li Gua. Li Gua. So Li Gua is a female. So it can also mean subordinate. Subordinate because it's a yin Gua ma. Yin Gua, so it can mean subordinate. It can mean guest. It can mean customer. It can mean achievement. So if you want achievement, hear this. If you want achievement, then you must connect your tiger side. Okay, get your tiger side connected. That is why I always emphasize that your work desk minimally must have the 1, 2, 3. Remember the 1, 2, 3 in the rekindle workshop seminar? I talk about 1, the back. Okay, 2 is the left, and then 3 is the right movement. Okay, so right movement here, the right side. Movement means the yang. Right, and then once you have the yin yang connection, you're likely to achieve achievement. And because your left is connected also, what it means is that all your actions actually are being carefully thought of first and executed one, and not on impulse one. Okay, so I know there are people like that, very 冲动, okay, straight away what comes to the mind, straight away go and act already without thinking twice. So just be mindful lah. So if certain things show up around you, now you know lah, actually it's your own dashboard lah. If let's say you are the own Tai Chi point, okay, but you are reading someone else, read in relation to the Tai Chi point. Okay, question so far? No question, then I will stop here for the universal. Oh no, wait, back to Andrew question. Let me pull back Andrew question. Andrew question is where was it? Andrew was asking if I can recall. I can't find back. Okay, but let me recall. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew. Your question is, which is more important, right? The back or the left? The back or the left? Is that correct, Andrew? Between the left and back, which area must we emphasize more? The back. Okay, I'll answer this. Alan says, so this is regardless of direction, north, east, north, south, east, west. Correct, Alan? Correct, Alan? So this is actually a fragment of form feng shui. Remember, I talked about that in the home frequency tuning. There's 2 kinds of feng shui. One is a qi feng shui, which you need to rely on luopan, compass. Otherwise, you are actually handicapped. Form feng shui actually based on what you see, your observation. So your understanding of your yin yang, okay, and then the symbolism, and then what you observe actually is very important. And you don't need luopan, and you're able to read a lot of things already. That's like how we went through just now. So this is just a fragment of the form feng shui. There are many more, okay, but it's enough for us to bring it in and then talk about first gear to fifth. Okay, now Andrew, back to you. Okay, more questions coming in. I welcome this kind of questions. Okay, back to Andrew. Where's the Andrew question? Okay, Andrew, between left and back, which area must we emphasize more? I put it this way. Given the choice, all four are equally important because they have their own role to perform. Okay, they have their own role to perform. And if let's say one is down, you probably will feel in certain area lacking. For example, if your tiger is down, that means you cannot collect tiger water. I may not be talking about water now, but you can, because water means money, money coming from the tiger side actually is bigger money bigger money. Okay, so 湖水 actually is better than collecting from the dragon money, but that is not part of the topic here. So let's say your tiger is down, you know, is not able to perform that role, then you know lah, certain part is lacking already lor. But between the left and the back, I would say, given the choice, protect your back first. Left, how should I put it this way? Energy, the universal energy come from the back first. Okay, the universal energy, that means the long mai must come from the back first and then comes out from the left to the right, then to the front. Something like this. This is how the energy moves. Okay, so there must be a connection from your back first. That means your power point must be connected to the back, then the current can flow. All right, whether current will be blocked halfway because of your left damage or your right damage or your front damage, you have to read accordingly. Okay, from my experience and from those case study that I have encountered before, if back is damaged, left is very good, they can still run into deep shit trouble. But on the contrary, if the left is damaged, but the back is very solid, even though they run into trouble, they recover faster because they are connected somehow. And when they're connected, they're easier to recover. That means their resilience level is higher than other people without. Is that okay, Andrew? So did I answer your question? Okay, thank you. Now next, after Andrew is Alan. Alan, I think I answered your question. Yeah. Okay, so this one is just a fragment of Form Feng Shui. You don't need luo pan, regardless of north, south, east, west. Okay, and this say can explain the table facing the wall and the people walking in front. Wait, can explain the table facing the wall and the people walking in front yin yang. Is that what just now I explained just now, the 1, 2, 3 thing? Have you attended, do you attend the Rekindle or Career Resilience workshop? I think I explained that pretty in depth. The best configuration, Andrew, what we want is actually 1, 2, 3 lah. I make it so simple. Okay, so this is number 1, this is number 2, and we have that is also yin yang pairing already. Number 3, you're moving in and out of the desk must be from the right side. So this is number 3. Because once you do that, you have yin-yang pairing. So you have 1, 2, and 3 yin-yang pairing already. So what is left is the front. So front, of course, when you have the back, when you have the solid wall behind, right? I don't think your front will be a wall also lah. I don't think so lah. So relatively speaking, it should be more yang lor. And if it's more yang, that means even the front you have yin-yang pairing also. Okay, Andrew? Not Andrew, sorry. What do you call that? Andy, does that answer your question? Is that what you're asking for? Okay, thank you. Who is next in the line? Yiling. Form and qi feng shui, which one is more powerful? Both are more powerful. Depends on which one you're more comfortable with. But most feng shui master use both together. Even though they use luo pan, they will use form feng shui. Because they complement each other. They complement each other. Sometimes certain information you cannot see from qi, you probably can see from form. Sometimes you cannot see from form, but you can see from qi. Because you want to talk about timing, then qi feng shui will be more precise than form feng shui. But even to talk about something that is more structural means the basic setup, then form feng shui actually is very easy to use to read the structural setup. Is that okay, Yiling? So they complement each other. It's not about who is more powerful. Both are equally powerful in their own rights. Is that okay, Yiling? Okay, thank you. Who is next? Okay, Andy. Andy has another one. The cabinet behind you and the wall in front. Yin yang. The cabinet behind you and the wall in front. If the wall is in front of you, that means straight away your table is flush to the wall. That means straight away your front is already disrupted already. It's not connected already. It's already in pairing already. Okay, Andy, you understand that? Mason say earn less is better than back arrow. Exactly. Earn less is better than back arrow. The backstabbing arrows is something that we want to avoid because obvious enemy is better than invisible enemy. Let me don't know where the arrow is coming from. I think that's the worst part here. And expose your back, you tend to have this invisible arrow. So we don't want that, We don't want that, Okay. Darren asking, like to ask for coffee shop setup, take note, not store at Tai Chi Point. Coffee shop setup, take note, not store as Tai Chi Point. At time, at least 3 sites is yang. Is there a better way to improve the situation in terms of feng shui perspective? Yes, do some renovation, and then create the yin-yang pairing. Is that okay, Darren? All right. Okay. Andy say, how about short cabinet behind you? You mentioned just now, and people walking in front. That one still can, because comparatively speaking, the short cabinet become your yin already, become your support behind you. Okay, because compared to the walkway, mean people walking in front, the in front become yang, so the cabinet become yin already. Relatively speaking, okay. Yiling say attract 贵人 is more from feng shui in what way? You have solid backing, you're attracting 贵人 already. So you want to attract 贵人, right? Solidify your backing. Yiling, that's the easiest way. But of course, don't damage your northwest sector in terms of qi feng shui. Yesterday I spoke about that. The one thing that you must take care is your northwest when you talk about workplace. So if you have a solid backing but your northwest is damaged, it's like minus off here and there. Yiling? Okay, Darren said okay, like that. Okay, Ken. All right. So I guess let me see how many more slides I have. Can we take a break here? Okay, so we take a break here. Then after break, we'll come back, resume this time-space connection system and the rest for the module 4. Like I said, I don't think I can complete module 4 today, but let's aim to finish it. Okay, is that okay? So now it's 3:25. Let's come back at 10 minutes, 3:35 p.m. Okay, 3:35 p.m. Is that okay? See you back at 3:35 p.m. I guess let's resume. Okay, we have actually a lot more to cover. Okay, let's move on. Welcome back. Now we will move on. The universal connection system, I think we are done for now. I think you have absorbed. There's quite a lot for you to absorb, but we will come back to that later on. Right, because that fragment is not that little only. We have more things to talk about that little fragment of feng shui, which we will talk about more later on in module 5. Okay, so now let's move on to time-space connection system, which is actually basically the little heaven 8 trigram. Just now, I think Yiling asked a very good question. Thank you, Ellen. You're back. Okay. Yiling asked a very good question between qi feng shui and feng shui, which one is more powerful? I would say both are equally powerful. They are powerful in their own rights, and they can complement each other very well. 先天后天, they have to go hand in hand one. It's like that. Okay, so Andy, thank you. You're back. Okay, so we just started only. So now we want to move on to time-space connection system, because Confucius once said, based on what he read from I Ching, is that timing is everything. Okay, Confucius said that. Alicia, you're back. Thank you. All right, Confucius said that after reading I Ching, he said that timing is everything. This is what Confucius said. So we want to be able to know timing and how does timing serve us in our own way. so that we can make use of timing to advance ourselves. Oh, okay, so we want to know that as well. So we want to talk about this time-space connection system. And this is largely also covered during the home frequency tuning. So I take it that most of you should know this topic very well. All right, so if you know this topic very well, then I'll move faster than usual. All right, so remember this, yesterday I talked about the principle of oneness, and basically why we want to look at timing is because we want to be in align with this one, 与事实和其序. That means we want to be in synchronization with the timing as well. So this is found in the 文言传. And basically, when we talk about timing, earlier heaven 8 diagram cannot give us the timing information, cannot give us the detail. So we need to convert it, use another, tweak it a little bit, use another slightly tweaked system called the later heaven 8 trigram. And because of the tweak, the timing and the direction all can come in already. All right, so we need another system, and that system is called the later heaven 8 trigram, so that you can incorporate 3+1 dimension to come into the so-called the template. And in order to know how to pull in, I think I will go fast on this. I assume most of you already know this. Stop me if let's say I'm going too fast. For those who think who is not familiar with this, okay, or first time hearing me saying this, then slow me down. If not, I will go fast, right? So because of this this verse, it shows us how the later heaven the 8 trigram is being rearranged based on this Chinese verse. So everything start from Zhen, okay, then go to Xun, then go to Li, Kun, Dui, Qian, Kan, Geng, then go back to Zhen. And if this one can relate to how nature behaves, then we can always bring in the 4 season or the 5 season. Now that you know it's 5 season, bring in and then say, how can it relate? Yes, of course it can relate, because now we know that spring here, spring go to summer, summer go to autumn, autumn to winter, is actually go in this fashion, because this is how nature behaves in terms of timing. Right? So spring is actually wood element, summer is fire element, autumn is this element, matter, and then winter is this we'll call that water element. Then the earth, actually there's one here and there's one more here, which is at the northeast. And because of that, then we can also pull in to say, hey, let's relate to a day, because this cycle can apply as above, so below. That means you can apply to season, it can also apply to a single day. So same thing, the sun rise from the east and then set at the west. It goes like that. So when you go to the Kan Gua means at night. When you go to the Di Gua means it's the noon time. So it can relate to in this manner. So as above, so below. And since we know the sun's rise from the east, so therefore we know every day without fail, the sun will rise between 5 to 7. So that's where we start to pull in timing already, 5 to 7, and then set also 5 to 7. So once we know this one, straight away we know midnight and the noon timing as well. We know the 4 cardinal directions. So that 4 cardinal directions is actually very, very important piece of information that we should not neglect, because it tells us a lot of things. And from there, certain details start to come out already. Okay, so we know timing, we can pull in from here. And we also know the direction already, because we know sunrise from the east and set in the west, so direction comes out already. So once we know east and west, we also know where's the south, where's the north. So now is how to put everything together in tie into which direction tie into which earthly branches. So Chinese has a way to measure the timing, and they use the earthly branch to measure, and there are 12 earthly branches used to measure. So every branch actually measure 2 hours. Okay, 2 hours. So that's why there's only 12 earthly branches. And the way it's been tied back to the trigram is in this manner. I think this is a simpler way to explain to you. Okay, so if you look at this looking at this table and relate back to this template, trigram is being arranged in this manner, later heaven 8 trigram manner. And then If you tie into the direction, yes, we have the direction also. And then if you tie into the 5 element of the trigram, yes, we can tie in with the 5 element of that trigram. The trigram means the sector, north, south, east, west sector. And we tie into the EB, that is where we have like that in this template here. So you note that the 4 cardinal direction only take in 1 EB. The 4 corners will take in 2 EB, total 12 EBs. Okay, so the EB is able to tell us the year, the month, the month and the hour, but not the day. Okay, the day you have to run in a 60-day cycle, then you are able to catch up with the day. All right, so right now we can't tell the day based on this template, but we can tell the year, the month, and the hour. Okay, so I run faster on this one because I presume most of you listen to this many times before. Okay, we are going to use this very what I call that, in setting up your outer world, especially when you want to go after timing. Okay, so we use this system. So there are limitation and shortcoming. I think right now if we just base purely on this letter heaven 8 trigram to look at things, to measure things, right? We may miss out certain things that we cannot be captured by using the letter heaven 8 trigram. So basically is like this. For example, the absolute frequency coming from the individual, that means the RAS and the amygdala. And I think I don't have to go deep into RAS and amygdala. I think you should know by now, if you can remember. These are something that cannot be captured by the letter heaven 8 trigram. So that's why I have to start from the inner world first and then work all the way up gear by gear. And then up to now, then you have a better understanding. And also the influence of the inner world as a whole. And also your universal connection system. So certain things, universal connection system is able to tell us more things, more details, but the letter heaven can't tell us. So vice versa. Okay, so that's why some metaphysics solution, even following strictly to the earlier and later heaven trigram individually, can still fail miserably. So my recommendation is, now that you know both, if you know both, use each other to complement each other. Okay, use each other to complement each other. So that is where we should be working on from now on. Okay, so any question up to now? Anyone feel that I'm talking too fast and don't know what I'm talking about? If you are still good, type yes in the chat box. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Derek. Okay, thank you, Andy. Okay, so I assume the rest will also answer yes, because you all never answer means okay. Okay, thank you, Philip. All right, so let me ask you a question. I think after yesterday and after today, I just want to ask you, do you know your own trigram? I'm not referring to the home trigram. I'm referring to your office or career trigram. Do you know? Okay, so if you can recall, this we talked about this yesterday. So what is your trigram? I hope by now you should be pretty clear, because this will be something that you want to protect. So basically, number one, you must protect your northwest. Okay, number one, you must protect your northwest. Number two, you must protect your own work trigram. I call it work trigram. I can't find a good term, but I call it a work trigram, or your career trigram, whatever. Remember, you hold different hat, you have different trigram. If you're at home, if you are, a father, okay, 牵挂. But if you're performing a different role, then you may have a different trigram. Okay, so but I'm talking about work now. Protect your northwest, number one. Protect your own trigram, number two. All right. So next one is you must protect your own functional trigram. Functional trigram means your role that you play. Okay, the role that you play. If let's say you are in the shipping industry, a shipping company, but you are doing a HR role, tell me what trigram should you be more concerned of. I repeat again, you're in a shipping company. Shipping company, you know, is a CAN trigram, correct? Okay, but you're performing a HR role. So which trigram is of a more concern to you? So Mary say Kun, Philip say Kun. Very good. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, so please take care of your functional trigram. More important than the industrial trigram. Okay. So basically, you need to know two trigram that is relating to you now. Number one is your hierarchy trigram, and number two is your functional trigram. So type in the chat box if you know the answer to this for yourself. Type yes, I know in the chat box. You already know these two trigram. Thank you, Philip. Thank you. Thank you, Mason. Thank you. Derek, thank you very much. Yiling, thank you very much. Darren, thank you. Okay, so after today, tomorrow, Monday, when you go back to work, remember that you need to tidy up certain things, and in particularly these two trigram sector. Tidy up. Okay, and also do your own universal connection system for those who answer half done just now. Try to do up to become 75% done, no? At least. Okay, good. So that's all for module 4. That's all for module 4. Any question on module 4? If no, I'll move on. Okay.